Hello everyone, welcome to JCE Connect. So, in this class, we'll study about the specifications and constructions of bituminous concrete. So, this bituminous concrete. So, that bituminous concrete, that means a concrete which made with bituminous material as a binder, and including this, the sand as well as gravels have been used in this concrete. Okay, so the normal concrete we can use cement as the binding material, but here the binding material that stands with the bituminous material. So this bituminous concrete that is made up of bituminous material as a binding material and including this sand as well as the gravel. So this bituminous concrete that shall be used as a wearing course, wearing course in the sense that is a last layer of a pavement, and which are normally, it should not be laid directly over the waterbound macadam or even on granular sub base, right? Or even bituminous course also, right? So other than the dense bituminous macadam, we can be used this bituminous concrete in the road constructions. So this is a material specifications in which these bituminous concrete have consisting of these specifications. First one is that bitumen, the same as in the dense bituminous macadam, so which one we have discussed in the previous video lecture. The same specifications have been used in bituminous concrete also, right? So that is the grade which consisting of 30 by 40, 60 by 70, and then 80 by 100. So such grades of the bitumens depends upon that penetration value. We can consider those materials in the construction of bituminous concrete pavers also, right? And here that bitumen, fine aggregate, filler coarse aggregate, which is all same as in the DBM, but the gradings will get changes, right? So that grading table have been given here. So again there are two different grades, that is grading 1 and grading 2. So depends upon the sieve analysis test, we will come to know that our present aggregates which are belongs to which particular grade. Okay, the sieve set that stands with 20 mm IS sieve, and then 12.5, 10, 4.75, 2.36, 0.6, 600 micron, 300 micron, 150 micron, and at last 75 micron. So if the grade 1 will be having the following specifications, that is the 12.5 mm sieve size, which should consist the percentage passing by weight, that is 100%, and for 10 mm it is 80 to 100, and for 4.75 it is 55 to 75, and similarly for 2.36 it is 35 to 50%, and 0.6 to 0.6, that is 600 micron, should consist 18 to 29%, and for 300 micron it is 13 to 23, and for 0.15 it is 8 to 16%. Similarly the last sieve, that is 75 micron, it is 4 to 10. So if the aggregates consisting of this particular percentage passing by weight, so then we can say that this aggregate samples belongs to grade 1. So similarly the specifications have been given for grading 2 also, so we need to match our own results in with this grading table, and out of these two grades it is going to be matched with anyone, so that we can decide the which grades of the aggregates we are going to use, either grading 1 or grading 2. And then similarly the Marshall stability, as we have discussed in the previous video lecture, so these results comes from Marshall stability test. Okay, so there we'll come to know that how exactly that bituminous mix it is going to be used in the construction, and which are the main properties of that. So that properties which depends upon in this way, that is the Marshall stability, it should be 800 kg, that is the minimum, and Marshall flow it is 2 to 4, and then air voids 3 to 5%, and then VMA VFD it is 11 to 13%, and 16 to 75% respectively, and then the binder content minimum 45% we should use in this bituminous concrete, and water sensitivity minimum 75% should be there, and swell test, that is 1.5% will be the maximum one. So after conducting that Marshall stability test, we'll come to know this particular results. So we should compare our own materials with this standard table, and that our own materials, it should satisfy these all categories before using in the construction. And construction operation. So here, preparation of the base, that is the base on which the bituminous concrete is laid to be laid, that shall be prepared, shaped, and conditioned to the specified levels, grade, and crossfall, that is the camber, right? So here, before placing this bituminous mix, bituminous concrete on that paver, so first we should make confirm that it should be properly prepared. I mean, it is with a well compaction, proper grading, proper slope, as per the design aspects, whatever we require, no? So each and everything we need to prepare with the sub base as well as the base course, and even including the levels also, that is the ground profile, how exactly we need to provide that one in the construction part. So each and everything has to be prepared, that is comes under with preparation of the base. And here the surface shall be roughly swept clean, free from the dust and other matter using the mechanical broom, and dust improved by the mechanical means or blown off by compressed air. So here, so after cleaning that, we need to remove out even the dust particle also, because here we are going to place the bituminous mix, I mean the bituminous concrete, such that that bituminous concrete, it should not mix up with the dust particles. So when it is mixed with the dust particles, that bonding may get differ from the good, I mean that bonding property, it is going to be reduced here. So to avoid that, we need to clean that particular place such that it should be clean, free from dust and other matter using the mechanical broom. Okay, and here that dust can be removed by using the compressed air. So here compressed air, in the sense it is with a much pressure, so those all dust particles, because of that air pressure, it is going to be waved off. And here, in portion where the mechanical means that cannot reach, so other approved method is also can be used just to remove out those dust particles from the construction place. And here, first we need to apply the tack coat, and then the preparation of the mix, spreading and rolling, which everything which is same as in the DBM layer as we have discussed. Okay, so first we need to apply the tack coat, right? So that is with a thin layer, and then we have seen a particular video clip. So in that we have shown how exactly they have prepared the bituminous mix by taking which type of the aggregates, which type of the bitumen sample, and which are the standard procedure of that preparation. Initially we need to heat that. So each and every part, how we have prepared in the previous dense bituminous macadam, the same thing we are going to follow here in the preparation of the mix. Okay, and then this spreading. So spreading, in the sense, after the preparation of the mix, we'll bring that one to the required location, that is to the construction site, and then there we are going to place that one equally and with a uniform thickness. Okay, and then we need to spread that one by using the mechanical pavers, and even with a small work we can use other instruments also. And then after the spreading with a uniform thickness, we need to roll that one for the better compaction. Okay, so again that compaction, it should be reaches till 98% of the maximum dry density, so that it can be approved further. And then opening to traffic. So here traffic may be allowed immediately after the completion of final rolling, when the mix has cooled down to the surrounding temperatures. So usually this bituminous mix, initially it will be with 160 degrees Celsius. So when it is going to be adjust with the normal temperature, it is going to take certain time, right? So we need to finish the rolling part within 100 degrees Celsius, right? And we need to wait down until it should get cold. Once if it get cold, we can open that one to the traffic, right? So this is up to a bituminous concrete specifications. Most of the procedure will be the same as in the dense bituminous macadam, that is the preparation of the base and even the concrete, I mean the preparation of the mix, applying the tack coat, spreading, rolling, and the other part of the finishing also. Only the thing is the gradings will get changes in this part. And moving to the next type of the layer, that is specifications and construction of dry lean concrete. So dry lean concrete. So this dry lean concrete, which is an important part of the modern rigid pavement, and it is plain concrete with a large ratio of the aggregate to cement than the conventional concrete. And here the generally used as a base or sub base of the rigid pavement. So this DLC, which is generally manufactured with a ordinary Portland cement, that is OPC 43, right? So as per the Indian Road Congress, we need to refer the SP49. So that one has been published in 1998. So depends upon that specifications table, we can consider the materials required for this. And here first the sub base will be there. So in this sub base, the source of materials, right? So here the contractor who is going to construct those particular road construction, so that contractor shall indicate to the engineer the source of the materials with the relevant test data to be used in the lean concrete work sufficiently, right? So here what the contractor has to do, so before starting the work he need to inform to the engineer such that where exactly they are bringing those materials, what is the main source of those materials, and after bringing that one to the construction site, so they need to test that one and they should obtain certain results as per the Indian standard code books, right? So these all testing and selection of the materials has to be done within, before starting the work of 45 days. Okay, so before, prior to the 45 days, we need to conduct these all tests and we need to be ready with those materials. Okay, and we need to take the approval of the engineer for the same, and that shall be obtained at least 45 days before the scheduled commencement of the work. So if the work is going to be carried out after 45 days, means within that we need to finish that in until and unless, in other words, so today if it is the materials have got approved by the engineer, so you can start the work after 45 days, not within that. So that is the standard procedure. And if the contractor later proposes to obtain the materials from a different source, for example, if that particular source is not available in upcoming works, so again he need to submit a fresh list of data, where exactly they are bringing those materials and how exactly they are going to be used and which are the test results have included in that. So each and everything they need to submit it again, and again they need to wait for 45 days. Okay, so after the 45 days only they need to start the work. And here the materials like cement, so we can use any type of the cement here, that is ordinary Portland cement, that is confirming IS 269, and the Portland slag cement, that is confirming Indian standard 455, and Portland pozzolana cement, that is stands for Indian standard 1489. So in out of these three, any one of the test cement can be used in the construction of this dry lean concrete work. Okay, and here if the subgrade is found to be consist of the soluble sulfates in a concentrations more than 0.5%, that time this cement shall be sulfate resistant and shall conform to IS 6909, and this cement may be used preferably to obtain in a bulk form. And here that storage of the materials, right, so that comes under with the stipulations that contained in a clause 1014, there where exactly we need to store the material and which are the standard procedures we need to follow. So each and everything we are going to study by using those clause 1014, right, and that subjected to acceptance test prior to its immediate use, right. So as per the suggestions of the engineer, we need to store those materials in a proper place such that after 45 days that properties it should be remains good. And here aggregates, so whatever the aggregates we are using in the lean concrete, that shall be natural material which is complying with IS 383. Okay, the aggregates that shall not be with alkali reactive, because once if you have used that alkali reactive aggregates in the construction, so by using the cement as well as the water chemicals, then it is going to provide produce the alkali aggregate reactions. So by using that, again the cracks may get developed, the strength may get reduced, so the property of the concrete pavement it may get reduced. So the limits of detritus material that not exceeds the requirements which is set out in Indian Standard 383, the second point, right? So here they have given certain limitations such that only that much percent of the deleterious materials have been allowed, so not more than that. So we need to check as per Indian Standard 383, and then we can decide whether it is having the limited content of deleterious materials or not. Okay, so in case the engineer considers that the aggregates are not free from dust, and the same may be washed and drained for at least 72 hours before batching as directed by the engineer. So here, if materials having a lot of dust, I mean on those surface of those particles, so that time the materials have to be washed thoroughly and then it should get dry. So it should be free from even moisture content also. So after washing those materials, we need to wait for 72 hours till that moisture content should be drained off. So this one, it is depends on as per the selection of the engineer. And coarse aggregate that shall not consist of lean, hard and strong, dense, non-porous and durable pieces of the crushed stone, right, or crushed gravel, and that shall be avoid of pieces of disintegrated stone, that is disintegrated in the sense so because of the chemical attack might be some part of the stone may get deteriorate, right? So if they have used that one, so again it may loses the property where exactly it has been used. So even that place also it comes under with the cracks, and even it acts as disintegrated part. And we need to avoid soft and much flaky and elongated materials, and even we can use, even we can avoid the angular materials also. And here the maximum size of the coarse aggregate that shall be 25 mm. And fine aggregate, so the fine aggregate that shall consist of lean, natural sand or crushed stone sand or a combination of the two. So here we can use any type of the fine aggregate, either natural sand or crushed stone sand also, or else even we can use the combination of these two, but make sure that it should satisfy all the confirmations given in IS 383. Okay, and the fine aggregate that shall be free from the soft particles, clay, shale, loam, cemented particles, because once if it is reacted with water, so that chemicals may get reacts and might be it loses the property of that concrete. So whatever the materials we are using, the same specifications we need to follow without any foreign materials. Okay, and the coarse and fine aggregates that may be obtained in either of the following manner, right? So in that first case, in separate nominal size of the coarse and fine aggregates and mix together immediately before the use. So here we can choose the size of the materials of both coarse aggregate as well as the fine aggregate, and then we can use that one before the mix. Okay, and separately as 25 mm nominal size and 12.5 mm nominal size graded aggregates, and fine aggregate of crushed stone, dust or sand, or a combination of these two. So either we can use 25 mm nominal single size or and even 12.5 mm nominal size of the graded aggregates. So this size sieves of aggregates we can be used in the construction of lean concrete. And here the aggregate gradation for dry lean concrete. So the aggregates what we are using in this dry lean concrete, it should be having the standard specifications by this table. So sieve sizes, sieve designations they have given with 26.5 mm followed by 19 mm, 9.5, 4.75, 600 micron and then 75 micron. So this percentage passing by the sieve weight, so it gives us for 26.5 mm IS sieve it is 100, and similarly for 19 it is 80 to 100. So like that for 75 it is 0 to 8%, right? So like that they have given the certain details of this sieve analysis also. And whatever the water we are going to use in this concrete, that water used for the mixing and curing of the concrete, that shall be clean and free from the injurious amounts of oil, salt, acid, vegetable matter or other substance which is harmful to the finished concrete. So we need to take the clean water which should be free from all other foreign materials, and it shall meet the requirements of stipulated in IS 456. So in the code of IS 456, that is in the concrete mix proportioning, though that time it has been given certain conditions about how exactly the water should be, right? So depends upon that criteria, we need to consider the water. And the storage of materials, so here whatever the materials we require for the dry lean concrete, that one it should be stored according to clause 1014, right? So here all the efforts must be made to store the materials in a proper places so as to prevent their deterioration or contamination by foreign matters. So we need to choose the material and we need to store the material in a such a way that materials it should not be contaminated with the foreign materials. For example, you can take cement. So if you directly place the cement on the ground, so what it happens might be it can absorb the moisture content which is presented in the ground, and even it will get hardened, right? So we need to place certain gap between the earth as well as the cement bag, so that whatever the moisture content is there either from the earth or either from the wall, so we need to maintain certain distance from that. So like that we need to store other materials also, so that it should maintain the same property as it was tested 45 days before. And here the storage place which must be also permit easy inspection, removal and storage of the material. All such materials, even though stored in approved godowns, must be subjected to acceptance less immediately prior to their use. So here the materials, the storage place, how you are going to select, so it should be nearer to the used locations, right? So and it should be easily accessible to get those materials. So like that we need to select that storage place, and then we should store those materials in that place. And here even though all the materials have been given the permission by the engineer, but before using that one in the construction, again we need to test those, and we need to check the properties of those materials just before using that one in the construction. And the proportioning of materials for the mix. So here moisture content, the right amount of the water for the lean concrete in the main work shall be decided so as to ensure full compaction under the rolling, and shall be assessed at the time of rolling the trial length. So here we need to select the proper amount of the water so that it should be with a good workable, and we should achieve the proper strength, right? So like that we need to select the water content there. So we need to select the first, we need to find out the moisture content first, right? So depends upon that the water cement ratio will get depends. Similarly here even it should be helpful in the achieving of the maximum dry density also, and that is dependent upon the amount of compaction. And here the cement content, the minimum cement content in the lean concrete, that shall not be less than 150 kg per meter cube. Okay, so minimum we need to use the cement content, that is 150 kg for every 1 meter cube of concrete. Okay, and here proportioning of the materials for the mix. So here concrete strength, so the average compressive strength of each consecutive group of 5 cubes shall not be less than 10 megapascal at 7 days. So usually we are going to find out the strength for 7 days, 14 days and then 28 days. So we can't wait for until 28 days. So first we are going to conduct the test for 7 days curing, and then we can assume the next days of concrete, the concrete strength. Okay, and here the subgrade, that shall be conformed to the grades and cross sections which are shown on the drawings, and that shall be uniformly compacted to the design strength in accordance with these specifications and specifications stipulated in the contract. So these subgrade specifications have been already decided by the top management. So as per that, the contractor has to work on this, and they should construct the work as per their requirement. And then the construction of dry lean concrete sub base. So here the place and performance of the lean concrete of the sub base construction, that shall be matching suitably with the program of construction of the cement concrete pavement over it. The subbase shall be overlaid with a cement concrete pavement only after 7 days of the subbase construction. So here they have given the conditions. The whatever the subbase layer will be there, so that will be overlaid with the cement concrete pavement only after 7 days of after the subbase construction. And here the construction of dry lean concrete, that is with the subbase, will be having the following procedures, that is batching and mixing, transporting, compaction, curing, trial mixes, traffic, measurements for the payments, and then rate. Okay, so we'll study one by one with these construction aspects.